Om Vasudeva Sutang Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnang Bande Jagadgurum Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the darling of Mother Devaki, the destroyer of the demons Kamsa and Chanura, and the Guru of the world. We salute him again and again. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are back to our reading of the Srimad Bhagavatam and the stories of Narada giving instruction to some prachetas, some spiritual entities. So the prachetas, one category of what we call, not human, some type of human divine, some type of personalities, worshipped Sri Rudra, Rudra the Lord, who had finished his instruction to do. So afterwards he disappeared from their view. I am on page 419, book 4, chapter 25, verse 1. So, and then afterwards he disappeared from their view, the Rudra, the Lord, giving instruction as they were looking on. So for some 1,000 years, the time scale in Puranas always you will find, he's doing austerity for 1,000 of years, he is doing prayer for 10,000 years austerity. All this timing, they say, we have to understand some long time, that's all. So, for 1,000 years, these prachetas performed austerity. And what they did, they started chanting the Rudra Gita, the Gita, which the Rudra, the Lord Vishnu, no, Lord Shiva. Shiva's one of the forms is called Rudra. So that Gita is called Rudra Gita. We have many Gitas.
Is that the same as the Rudram?
Rudram, that comes from Rudra.
Is that the same thing? Because in City Yoga we used to chant the Rudram. Is that the same?
Rudram is not same, but it's one section of that idea of Rudra is Shiva in another form. Rudra, Shiva has so many forms. One form is called Rudra. Well, these prachetas were engaged in austerities. Then the Narada, they always, that pure soul, the benevolent sage, who was the knower of Atman, went to the father of this. His name is Prachino Barhis. These names are also very difficult to remember. But anyhow, they were the Pracheta's parents, they reached there, and Narada said, once steeped in Vedic ritual. So Pracheta's father was very much ritualistic. And in early days, rituals means, you do big havanam and sacrifice there, everything. And in that you sacrifice also many animals, animal sacrifice. That's why Buddha came afterwards. Buddha was so shocked by that, so he just worked against that Vedic rituals. That's why he brought a philosophy that not to accept any such ritualistic action which destroys the life force. Now, so Narada tirade against ritualism. So he said, "O king, this Narada approached the father of the Prachetas, and then he said, "Oh king, what good do you expect from the practice of the Vedic rituals? Man's good consists in the eradication of the suffering and attainment of happiness. No? The goal of life is, what is the human goal, life of human goal? Eradication of all suffering and establishing in peace. No? So suffering, eradication and attaining permanent peace. That's called the purpose of life. So neither of these is obtained by ritualistic work. Because you are performing this action, eradication of suffering will not happen. Because of your performance of action, it may be good action, huh? But you may go to heaven after death. Then after enjoyment of the heaven, then you come back again, be born in this world. So again going, again coming, again going, again coming. Where will you find peace, happiness, eternal happiness? So that is not available there. And peace will be still in your heart. You are hankering for, oh, when I shall get more joy, more happiness. You go to pleasure grounds and you get more and more and more. You go to the ordinary hotel to motel to hotel to this medium grade hotel to 5-star hotel. So then you also want more. So where is the end of this? And also you are killing the animals. In ritual, part of the ritual is to offer it to God. No? That is in the ancient Judaic tradition, and also ancient Indian tradition. The original religion started with that type of sacrifice. So neither these obtain by ritualistic work. Then he said, the Pracheta's father, the king, said, "O great sage, being overcome by this predisposition towards ritualism, I am taught by that, and I also feel very much connected with this ritual practice. My intellect does not understand anything superior to it. I can grasp only this much, that you do rituals and you get something. Vedic rituals are like that. You do this type of performance, you get this type of result. You go do this performance, you go to this. No? You can be king. You want to be king, then you have one type of offering you have to do, and all this hovam is to be done. You want to go to heaven, another. You want to be Indra, the Lord of gods. You want to be some special divine entity. So you perform such activities and get into that heart. So enlighten me there. So I am engrossed into this ritualistic worship. I like it. Many people like, no? Many people like puja, havanam, and they're very much happy with that. And they're so engrossed they don't want to do any other higher spiritual practices. So he said that I am really bound in this understanding that there is nothing higher than that performance of rituals. So enlighten me therefore on that knowledge of the spirit which will enable me to be free from ritualism. Rituals are starting point of life, no? We all need rituals, but we mature. When we go to the kindergarten, KG school, what we get? We have to learn with the doll and toys and this and that. Even learning the alphabet, A for apple, B for bat, C for cat, D for dog. We need a dog to understand D. That was our way. No? But that ritual starting is good. Then we mature. Then we give up dog, but we don't give up D. A cat we give up, but C we don't give up. And we utilize in so many ways. So he says that my heart is engrossed into this type of understanding that ritual is the everything. There are people really, day and night they are happy with doing some ritual. You go to the Hindu temples where there is every Havanam and other things are going on. And people get very excited to do all these things. And it has its good effect. Merit is also there. Because it is said that when you offer something to fire god or god, the fire god carries that prayer to the divine entity, what that means the lord of particular destination. So you get the benefit, their blessings. When you are sending some message through some instrument. What is the instrument? Instrument is the ritualism. Ritualism is what? You offer oblation in the fire, and the fire god carries your request to the deity you want. That is the purpose of ritualistic Havanam and other things. Agni, Nayo, Supatha. Oh, Agni is the fire god. You offer oblation to the fire, ritualistic fire, and then Agni carries your desire to and sends the offering to the respective deity. We call Indave Swaha, then Shivayo Namaha, etc., etc. So it puts that offering to the Shiva. So I am engrossed in that type of, and I find joy in that type of ritualistic worship. But how can I get out of that ritualism? I do not know.
So when we do Homa, we name that Agni. So when we name that Agni, Sri Ramakrishna Agni, then Sri Ramakrishna becomes the carrier to the message to the God?
No, before that Ramakrishna Agni, you see the procedure. Agni is Agni first. You ignite the fire, and then you say the fire is the Agni Devata. And Agni Devata you are giving Shivaya Namo, this, all this. All are done, then you go to give to the Ramakrishna is identified with this fire then. There comes the identification of the fire with your chosen ideal. Kali Puja you are doing, after doing all these things, then you connect with this fire itself, which is fire. First you see, you offer oblation for 25 times. Then Oing Swaha, and then Om Oing Swa or something. And then after we say again 11 times, thinking that this fire is the body of Ramakrishna, body of Mother Kali, fire god, in the form of fire, effulgence. So that is the keeping the ancient tradition of home of fire idea. That means they carry those god of Agni, fire god, carries your desire, open desire. You first propitiate Agni, and then you kindle the Agni with a particular name, and then any offering you give with devotion, through that it goes to the respective deities. And that's why they nurture. They get nurtured. That is the belief. Now, a man wandering aimlessly along the ways of samsara in this world and attached to the evils of the domestic life, this is in the samsara, when you are in the worldly life, so much of stress, so much of strain, so much of anxieties, worries, pain, suffering is there. So he says, a man wandering aimlessly along the ways in the samsara, the world, and attached to the evils of the domestic life, not the good. There are negative things also come. Arrogance comes, jealousy comes, meanness comes. So in the path of life's journey, consider, and we consider by that way that our son, our wealth, our friend, our spouse, or etc., be all and end all of his life. He knows nothing higher. Naturally, people get engrossed into only a limited relationship with some people, and their suffering is your suffering, their joy is your joy. So we get all confused into it, forgetting that it does not mean that you not love your son, not your wife, not your husband. But that should not be the be-all and end-all of everything. We love, there comes the Upanishad. Upanishad says you love God, the Atman in your wife, in your husband, in your son. Atman is the point, not loving the son for son. husband for husband, wife for wife, money for mine. That will not lead us to freedom. But to see the Atman, so that we do not know. In the rituals, we don't know that. Therefore, it says that in this wandering aimlessly, like this, doing this karma kanda, going to heaven, going to achieve this power, I'll be so much wealthy, I'll be the king of the world, no? So all these things, previously people used to offer oblation to the fire and get all these things. So, but it is nothing but samsara. Samsara means samsarati iti samsara. You are moving from one phase of enjoyment to another phase of experience, and one experience leads to the good and bad experience, and then again we do some work and we entangle ourselves into the world of duality and confusion. Therefore, we think, and we do not know anything higher than that. Then Narada replied to this question, O king, look at the large number of innocent animals that you have sacrificed in your jagnas. No? You are a king. Kings do gorgeous Rajasika jagnas, no? Sacrificial fire. And there you have giant offering, big offering. Poor people do small fire, offer small things there. And you are a king. You have done so much of ritualistic fire sacrifice, and in fire sacrifice you have given so many animals sacrificed. Animals you have sacrificed in your jagnas. They now, recalling the suffering you have inflicted on them, are all waiting to take vengeance on you. After your death they will, in great anger, attack and tear you to pieces with their horns, which will be strong and sharp like tools of steel. To save you from this situation, I shall narrate to you the story of a Puranjana, who has been handed down as the innocent tradition. So now, this is the way you are doing the sacrificial fire. Its negative side is this. When you are offering oblation to the fire in the innocent animals, then you are actually inflicting one negative effect of also. But it is said, actually, we have to understand the scriptures are also meaningful. The offering of the animals has some such justification there. In early state of human civilization, people used to live with what? With ordinary livelihood was with animals, sacrificing animals. They will kill the animal, hunting, killing the animal and eating. They used to do it anyway for their survival. Now, when it becomes a little sophisticated, they said, okay, you kill the animal, but not ruthlessly. It is for a purpose. Give them honor, give them respect. When the sacrificial animal is respected very much, taken care of anything, you love and care, and then instead of reckless killing, you kill one. And then with due respect and offering to the God, as it were. Giving the animalistic tendency through some self-restraint. You don't just go and kill anyone and just eat and, So you should offer it to God or sacrifice it to God and then eat. That's called the prasad idea. Now presently we continue in modern day, whatever we cook, we give it to the Lord, saying it is the offering I am giving, and then I eat. We eat every food, no. Even we had no offering system, suppose many places there is no offering system, they cook and eat for themselves. They have their lunch, supper, everything. But when you have offering system, that means you say, hey, it's good food. Don't test yourself first. You should go to God. So what you are trained, your senses are being trained not for you, but for God first, and take the prasad. So that was the same idea in sacrificial fire time. They learn to restrain themselves and offer it to God, and then eat the meat. After sacrificing, they are not throwing away the meat, but they take it. Even in Ma Kali's worship, there are goat sacrifice. That system was there very prominent. Then what they do? After offering the goat before their mother, and then they use that and cook, and then they ate as a prasad. So prasad makes you touch God and then use it for your own enjoyment. No? So it is a little restraint. So that way you learn more restraint and refine and refine and refine. Then you give up all these things, only meditate on the divine. No question of sacrifice, no question of anything. Don't hurt anyone, don't do gradual development. It is if you look at the human civilization, it has developed like that. So this is the two. So this you have sacrificed so many animals, and their pain and agonies are there, so they will hurt you. So therefore, to save you from this situation, Narada comes out of his own bounty. No one invited him. So he appeared before the king and then started giving the instruction that to save you from this situation, I shall narrate to you the story of Puranjana. Who is Puranjana? Who has been handed down as an ancient tradition, Puranjan tradition. So, what is that? There is a story. There is a city, the city of Puranjana. Once upon a time, Narada started telling the stories. What is the story? Once upon a time, there was a very famous king, and his name was Puranjana. He had a friend whose name no one knew and whose actions no one saw. In quest of a suitable city for him to dwell in, he travelled all over the world, but was dejected to note that he found no suitable place. So one time the famous king was there. He wanted to find a nice place where he can enjoy his personal life, a life of enjoyment. So he has a friend. He asked him to find where is the good place for me. Go on, search. And they send their kingly help to go around and find a suitable place. As this friend was given to very lascivious ways, he could not find any place suited for all his purposes. He has given a long list. That place should have this type of houses, this type of lakes, this type of fun area, this type of dancing area, this type of kingly place. They're finding some good place. At last, in the southern region of the Himalayas, he has come across a city and had 9 gates and all manner of facilities and embellishments. As he found a city, there are 9 gates. 9 gates, you will find that a body, is describing like a body. We have 9 gates, eyes, nose, mouth, the 6, like that, head, and anus, and all this make 9. So he find a gate. Gates are for what? For escaping, for coming out. You go there, enjoy, and come out. So it had walls, gardens, moats, windows, decorations, and house with domes of gold, silver, and iron. In this house there was a pavilion for recreation, studded with all the 9 precious stones. That means very costly, very precious place. Found, the friend found for the king who is Puranjan king. In its brilliance, it was like the city of the Nagas. Nagas city means there are some Nagas, means one clan used to live. They are very prosperous and rich probably. So they are talking, it's a beautiful city, well-decorated city, well-established city. It had assembly halls. One side is also that even in the Bhagavad time, this culturally they were advanced so much. They are giving the description of a city which is modern city, can be parallel now. They are giving the example, it has assembly hall, squares, paved highways, pleasure resorts, rest houses, bazaar means marketplaces, flagstaffs with flags flying, the coral terraces. So these are the description. He found a nice place for the king. In the outer garden of the city there were magnificent trees and creepers as well as lakes over which humming honeybees hovered. Birds of various types flew chirping and singing. All natural beauty, no? Though the birds are chirping, the honey, the bees are flowing, there's the honey. So there is beautiful fragrant flowers are all around. And surrounding the lakes there are trees whose tender leaves quivered softly in the gentle breeze that was laden with moisture and the fragrance of pollen of flowers. This Bhagavat is Sanskrit is so advanced and so poetic, and it is so, but the descriptions are very elaborate description. Whatever they say, Vyasadeva expressed them in a very expressive way. The place was free from fear. Such a beautiful place. But normally there should be wild animals and others. No, there is nothing as such. Good, only good. Beauty, joy, cheerfulness, all these are available, material things. So the place was free from the fear of wild animals, because all the animals there were like sages. The animals are not animals, they are sages. Absolutely they are gentle. And there are so many cuckoos singing there that the travelers felt as though he was being hailed from all sides. No? He's invited. The cuckoos are singing the song, welcoming people. That means very idealistic place for a person who wants to enjoy life. That is the perfect place. No anxieties, no worries, no one to attack. It's all weather is beautiful and chirping of the birds is there, and prosperous city with all resorts and singing and dancing place and assembly hall and this and that. Whatever you want, everything is available. Now this Puranjana, then the king saw, now they're getting this description. Probably king came there. And when the king came, then the king saw a beautiful lady. And that description is also a beautiful lady description, goes on for 2 pages. So I will not go for all this, but just run over a little bit. So then the king saw a beautiful lady who arrived at the place by chance and was attended by 10 aides, who each commanded a number of soldiers. So one beautiful lady appeared and they supported by, to protect her, so many aides are there. And she is about 18 years old and capable of taking any form. She looked as though she were out to find a husband for herself. And her nose, the teeth and cheek and all these descriptions are there. They're light and very delightful to look. Her ears are like that, dressed in yellow, and then proclaiming. The king was made extremely uneasy by seeing attracted to her. Then the king said to that lady, "O lotus-eyed beauty, who are you? Who is your father? Whence have you come here in this forest grove on the outskirts of the city? What do you propose to do?" etc., etc. And what is your attendance, this, that. So we need not have to go much. And then the lady also said, "O great king, infatuated with the words of the king," that damsel said to him, who, though a heroic person, begged of her this favor like one who had lost all courage. So he said, "O honored sir, neither you nor I know whose progeny we are, or to the Gotra." Gotra means family tradition, no? which in India's system, Gotra is one great thing. We ancestry. In the West we find the ancestry, everyone can find out now. Now what is called genealogy. And you can find out your father, forefather, and go on, where you. So maybe some king, some baron, they are the starting point of the Western civilization. People are proud of that. But in India, they go back, what is your father, his father, his father, his father? Oh, he was this sage, he was a holy man, he was this Bhargava Gotra. তারপরে কাশ্যপ বিশ্বামিত্র কাশ্যপ গোত্র. These are gotra means some sages who has his tradition, their children and their children, their children. So this gotra. So everywhere when you do any ritual in Hindu practice, you go to the temple, they say, what is your gotra? That means to do any auspicious work for you, they remember the sage in which lineage you belong to. So here, the lady says, I do not know what is my gotra, you need not have to know my gotra, but we love each other, that's all. And then, and he says that, it is fortune that you have had to come here. May you prosper. You are seeking enjoyment of the senses. Helped by my kinsfolk, I shall enable you to have all that. Sir, live in this city of 9 gates for 100 years. So she is inviting the king. So you come here and live here for hundreds of years, enjoying all the pleasure that I shall provide with you. Whom except you shall I entertain? Shall I bestow my attentions on one who knows nothing of the pleasures of love, who has abandoned even permitted enjoyments, who is unconcerned with the hereafter, or who like a cow takes no thought for the morrow? This householder's life provides one with every opportunity for the attainment of ethical values, dharma, wealth, prosperity, pleasure, progeny, long-lasting fame, and the higher worlds of untainted joy in life hereafter. So every householder expects this how to enjoy life here, and if I die, how shall I enjoy afterlife? So men who live alone without a wife cannot know any of these joys. It's glorifying the household life and encouraging the king to marry her. And king is also very much attracted to that woman. In this transmigratory existence, householder's state of life is considered by all thinkers to be the support and source of well-being for all. If there is no householder, the gods, the forefathers, the men, and all the lower creatures, who support them? Even the monks. In India, there are millions of monks. Who support them? The householder. They prepare their meal, they give a share of that meal. They earn their money, out of that they give some clothing or something to survive. So it is all the householders, they support the monks even. So if the householders are not there, where will be the monks? If the householders are not there, who will put oblation for the gods? If the householder is not there, who will put offering for the forefathers? And now we are coming, this is called the Pitri Paksha. That means this is the few days after ending on this Saturday, no? Yes. Mahalaya Day, this is called the Pitri Paksha. That means people offer oblation for their forefathers in Indian tradition. Everyone does that. So why? The Pitri Paksha means your fathers and forefathers. They are those who are not in this body, but in a subtle body. So you offer every oblation and respect for them. Because of them you are here. So you offer your respect for your forefathers. Not only father we do, mother we do, grandma we do well in the living. But when they die, Their body goes, but the soul remains. And they don't get immediate birth. Hinduism says it does not, they don't get just today died and tomorrow he'll be born. It is not necessarily. It may be 1 year afterwards. 1 year means 365 years. 1 day for us, 1 year for us is 1 day for the forefathers. It's a relative calculation. Like in your dream, you see dream for how many seconds? But you think you have lived, Baba, a terrible experience, no? As if it is going on hours and hours and hours. Huh? So time is always relative. So in that context he says that the devas, the prithis who are there, the householders are not there, who will offer oblation to them? Monks don't do anything. We, as a monks, when we did it, we finished our all duties. They call one Sraddha ceremony. Sraddha ceremony is done while their mom, dad, everyone is there. The monks, they offer everything before they join the monastery. Not monastery, they take these vows of monasticism. Why? Because the monk has no capacity or is not entitled to perform those rituals because it needs money, no? It needs so many items, puja materials, items. You go to the Brahmin priest, they will tell you how many things are necessary.
Plus, all these rituals you orally
Oh, we did and finished.
made.
But I am saying that those who are not householders, they do every year. Pitri Tarpan, they call Tarpan. So even today it is prevalent in the society. So he's saying, if the householders are not there, who will support the gods for oblation, the forefathers for their food, the men who live in the society, dependent on some support from some householder devotees. And the lower creatures also, no? We take care of the goat, of the horses, no? The cows, and so even birds, people feed the birds, no? So if the good householders are not there, how others will survive? So householder life has its great importance in that. Though it is not the goal of life, this may be one stage, but it is very fundamental. O brave one, what woman in quest of a husband as I am would not accept the suit of one like you, famous, generous, and lovable? Now, like that. Now, Narada then said, after warning each other in this fashion, the couple entered the city and lived there happily for 100 years. No? So, and in summer, praised by panegyrists and surrounded by women, they entered the cool lakes for water sport, giving all this description how they spend 100 years with much enjoyable world of their ordinary life. Whoever resides in the city has 9 gates for getting to different places. So there are 9 gates to reach where you want to go. You go to a lake or you go to a dancing place. So there are different gates as it were. 7 at the higher level and 2 below. So there are gates, 7 higher level gates, 2 below gates. 5 of these gates are in front. 2, 4, 5. So he said 5 of these gates are in front. 1 is on the right, another on the left. The remaining 2 are directed backwards. I shall now describe their names. So we don't need to know all this. What are these gates, what are the name and all this. We will not be able to remember even. And they're Sanskrit names. So anyhow, 9 gates. Now in this way, whenever Puranjana entered the Anahatapura, the inner apartment, heart, accompanied by Visuchina mind, then he is overcome by the infatuation for wife and children. That means as he enters into this gate and that gate, they have one type of experience. Then Puranjana fell into the bondage. The king then, he fell into the love of that lady and then entered, and then to that enjoyment he got entangled there. 56th verse on page 424, he says, in this way, through attachment to actions and engrossment in sensual life, Puranjana lost his discriminative power and all spiritual sensibility and became absolutely subservient to the wishes of his wife. Naturally it happens when you love so much and then you fell into that, and you trust your wife, then whatever wife says you do that. So the king lost his own different state of analysis, whether good or bad, or his own discriminative power, all the spiritual sensibility, he lost all this. When she drank liquor, he too did so and got intoxicated. When she chewed anything or took any food, he too did so, the king. Sometimes when she sang, he also too sang. When she wept, he also too wept. When she laughed, he also laughed. And when she prattled, he too prattled. At other times when she ran or stood or lay down or sat, he too do the same following her. When she heard something, he too heard it. When he saw something, he too saw it. That means it is meaning how much they are become tuned to each other's heart. When she smelled something, he also is starting smelling the same thing. When she touched something, he also touched it. Sometimes he sorrowed with his wife like one distressed. Sometimes he rejoiced with her. Thus deluded by his attachment to his wife, and thereby denuded of all his natural qualities, this king Puranjana, even though unwilling, followed the dictates of his wife like her pet animal. This is the end of this chapter 25. Now chapter 26. Then Narada says. What Narada said? Once the great archer Puranjana started on hunting expedition to the forest of Panchaprastha, seated with his swift chariot, harnessed to 5 horses, having a pair of shafts, the same 2 wheels and 5 joints. The chariot had the rein, 1 charioteer, 1 seat, 2 yokes, 5 shooting counters, 7 protective coverings, and 5 types of movement. Ascending the gold-embellished chariot, protected by the gold armor, having an inexhaustible quiver of arrows, and accompanied by the commander of his forces, he entered the forest of Panchaprastha, the objects of the senses. This is very, it is very...
Is it symbolic?
Symbolic, very symbolic. They are saying that now this Puranjana, that city where we are talking about, once this archer, he was a big archer, no? We are all, our souls like that, started on a hunting expedition to the forest. As kings used to go to hunt, where do you go? Into the forest. And what is the name of the forest? Panchaprastha. How he went there? You take your chariot or your car, So it says, seated in his swift chariot. You would take your car or take your old days, what you call horse-driven car. But here, what is that car? It says that it is the five sense, it is the dream body. Imagine, no? And mentally, he followed this track. With the 5 horses. What are the 5 organs? 5 organs of action, knowledge. So the horse, 5 horses are there. 5 horses are the sense of seeing, hearing, Chakshu, Karna, Nashika, Jiva, Tok. Chakshu is the eyes, Karna, hearing. These are organs of perception, organs of knowledge. We gain knowledge by that, no? My eyes see something, then I get the knowledge. Ears hear something, that we have some knowledge, no? So all the 5 senses, heat and cold by the skin, like good and bad food to the tongue, no? Smell. So 5 organs help us to experience 5, this is called organs of knowledge. So 5 horses of them are having a pair and 5 organs of knowledge. And then having a pair of shafts. Shaft is that some wheels should be there, which will be running. And their sense of I-ness and my-ness. Me and mine. Me and mine. So it is very, what you call euphoric. Not euphoric, no? What is the English term? It is like metaphor, metaphorical. It is metaphorical, saying that this king is now going for hunting. But hunting where? In the forest of the world. How he went? He took the dream body, mind. And it is harnessed with the 5 horses. Knowledge. Says, I will go here, I will see this, I will taste this, I will touch this. And the wheel which is driving, they are having a pair of shafts. And that is me and mine, I and mine. I will see, I will hear, I will eat, I will enjoy. No? 2 wheels. In that there are 2 wheels also. A chariot has many wheels. So 2 wheels, what are the wheels? Merit and demerit. This wheel will lead to our actions of meritorious actions or bad actions. 1 axle. Axle is the nature, Prakriti. 24 principles of Prakriti. 3 flagstaffs, 3 gunas. 3 gunas means Sattvika, Rajasika, Tamasika. 3 gunas, no? And 5 joints. 5 joints means they are all a perfect example of a chariot. A hub. It is connected with the 5 pranas, 5 energies. Is it? Prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana. The 5 types of functions of the breath. The chariot had 1 rein. Chariot, when it drives the chariot, there are reins. What is the rein? Mind. 1 charioteer who is sitting behind, holding the rein, is buddhi, intellect. This is also Upanishadic idea. Charioteer, buddhi. Where he sits, buddhi sits in the heart. No? 2 yokes, sorrow and joy and sorrow. There are 2 yokes, which is sorrow, following the path, you get sorrow, suffering or joy. 5 shooting counters. 5 shooting counters, what are there? As you shoot out, so your activity, what you want with your hand, with your feet, with all these things. 5 sense objects. 7 protective covering. 7 called dhatu, sapta dhatu. As Shankaracharya says, Navi Panchakosha, Navai Sapta Dhatu. In that morning chant, you chant every day. I am not the body, not the mind. Manu, buddhi, ahankara, chitta, ninaham. And there you said, I am not the senses, neither shapta dhatu. The body is created of 7 dhatus called. The marrow, fat, marrow, like that type of 7 elements the body is made. And 5 types of movement of the organs of action. Ascending the gold embellished chariot, that means how this function going on? But out of the 3 gunas, Rajaguna is activity. Because of the Rajas, protected by the golden armor, that is called the Rajaguna. And having an inexhaustible quiver of arrow. What is that compared? It is the ego sense. Various tendencies. I want this, I drive this way, I will go this way. The entire car moves in that direction, what I want. And accompanied by the commander of his forces. All these are controlled by mind, subtle mind. He entered in the forest of Panchaprastha. So, mentally he entered in. That means taking this body and making the sense organs and mind and intellect and ego and fat and marrow and bone and this and that all mixed together is the structure. It has 9 gates. And then Purandara started hunting, as we are entering into this body, a chariot, and we are hunting. What we are hunting? Hunting the objects of the senses. Hunting this, hunting that, hunting this. So, and restlessly working all the time. And then one day we fall. So he says that recklessly hunting Puranjana, what is it? Proud of his strength, this Puranjana ranged the forest hunting with bow in hands, leaving behind even his constant companion, his wife, out of his excitement in the chase. So when she's got engrossed, she was so much loving his wife, and even he didn't think of her, exhaust his energy recklessly into the forest. Roused to the heartless mood of a Rakshasa, he ruthlessly slaughtered the wild animals of the forest with his sharp arrows, which signifies that the dream state one enjoys sense objects without inhibition. So it is he roused to the heartless mood of that Puranjana, the king, then he entered into the forest and then started hunting recklessly, which is not necessary to destroy so many animals. It is only a restrictive ruling of the scripture that a king who is fond of meat may hunt wild animals for use in important religious ceremonies like Shraddha, as I talked about. You can only kill some animal only in the occasion of the what you call ceremony of fire ceremony. But recklessly one king should not disturb the innocent animals and destroy them. The object is not to encourage slaughter, but to restrict it and ultimately win man away from it. That is the purpose. All these kings used to do, all these scriptures say, offer some oblation to God, animal sacrifice, only to reckless killing, to a regulated killing. That is much development. So that is the purpose. A man who performs such work involving sense indulgence in this way, that is with the understanding that they are allowed not for the sake of indulgence in itself, but to restrain and win him away from them ultimately, such a person never grows addicted to them because of the knowledge generated by such reflection. Mentally, if one knows, this is the purpose of this life should not to have reckless movement, uncontrolled mind, uncontrolled body, uncontrolled actions, to controlled and regimented and regulated, and then you can drive in a higher sphere. On the other hand, a man who indulges in all kinds of action indiscriminately out of his own overweening pride succumbs to the bondage of transmigratory existence in the world. Falling into the stream of this world, he loses his intelligence and sense of discrimination and degenerates more and more. In the hunt, great slaughter of animal took place. Now, but the king, when he started, in this journey, he killed so many animals. And it is an ordeal for any man with a heart to see those creatures groaning with their bodies lacerated by various kinds of winged arrows. Their bodies penetrated with the arrows, the animals being killed brutally. Puranjana got extremely tired after he had slaughtered a large number of animals, both permissible in Yajna and not permissible in it. Animals like hares, wild boars, bison, wild cattle, deer, etc. Now he became thirsty and hungry, and he returned home very tired. After food and bath, he went to bed very much refreshed. He now decorated himself with sandal paste, flower gardens, and unguents. Anyhow, some perfumes. Well adorned, he began to think of his wife. Now Puranjana, who was rested, pleased and conscious of his own importance, now became overpowered by sexual desire and looked for his wife, the mistress of his home, but could not find her anywhere. Unhappy at not finding his wife, Puranjana now asked the women attendees of the palace, "Girls, your mistress and you, I hope, are doing as well as always. A house has an attraction in it, etc. The mother of loving wife. It is like a chariot without a wheel. Who will sit in such chariot like a fool? Where is that handsome lady who used to stimulate my mind, etc., and lift me from the ocean of despondency to occasion?" The attendant said, "O king, we do not know what is in your wife's mind. See there, she is lying on the bare floor." So that is she came back after hunting and slaughtering so much animals, didn't care for his wife, and then the wife was abandoned. When he came back and tired and rested, so when she was, after that he wanted finding her, why is my wife? And then wife is now being very sad, lying down in the floor. So I end it because this chapter will end.
There are questions also.
No question now. Let me finish this because this chapter again to link together is very difficult. So I will finish few quick reading. Then Puranjana, then his wife was, he saw king, she is lying on the bare floor. That means out of sadness, being abandoned by her husband, so she is very much hurt and wounded in the heart. Narada said, seeing his wife lying in complete neglect of the body and its welfare, Puranjana lost his poise and was engulfed in deep sorrow. With an aching heart, he tried to console her and win her over with the sweet words, and thus shielded himself from the frowning look of his darling, a sign of an impending love quarrel. The expert in conciliatory tactics that he was, he consoled her little by little, clasping her feet for forgiveness and fondling her as she sat on his lap. He said, "Unfortunate are those servants whose masters do not inflict any punishment on them, even when guilty, owing to the personal affection of and they entertain for them. A punishment inflicted on a servant, I am your servant, so you should not punish me like this." That type of discussion going on. Then, "O noble lady, I shall surely punish him who has offended you, provided he is not a Brahmana or one devoted to the Lord. He shall not be allowed to live with a sense of security." So probably somebody have hurt you, so you are so much sad, that's why you are lying in the floor. "Never before have I seen your face like this, without tilak, cheerless, unwashed and swollen with an anger that has driven away all brightness of So, though I have committed an offense against you, my darling, by going off hunting, I now repent of it and beseech your pardon. What lovelorn woman would not accept a lover who has been captivated and enslaved by her, after his manly pride has been shattered to pieces by powerful shafts of Cupid? Anyhow, so that she wanted to please her wife, and then we'll hear what happens the next. So, only what interested that story is very little we can enjoy, how they are comparing the body to be a chariot. And this body takes us to different experience, and with the help of mind and intellect and ego and our attachment, this world moves around and we get in the cycle of birth and death. So that idea is what we can get more. So we end here today. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. We'll see you again today at 7:30 in our class on Shanti Gita. And by this time, 2 questions have come. One, Ramakrishna says, when the hair stands on end and tears flow at one repetition, we can leave rituals behind. But even in that state, don't we still have to keep up Nitya Puja in the house? Yes, really, but you will not be able to do that, and it is not necessary to do, and you will fail to do that, as Ramakrishna was performing all the rituals in the Dakshineshwar Kali temple. But when he really overwhelmed, taking the name of God, his whole body is filled with horripilation. Tears are rolling down the cheeks like a baby crying for mom, no? When that mood comes, how will you offer the flower at the feet of the Lord? How will you chant a mantra because you are overwhelmed? So that state we do not understand. You will be incapable to do anything overwhelmed with that extreme love and devotion to God. But before that, we must have to perform our daily duties of spiritual practice as given to us by our gurus and our instructions to them. So, yes, you are right that the tears flow at one repetition. You take one time the name of Lord, your whole body will be charged with joy and bliss. Goosebumps will come all over the body. Hairs will stand erect and tears will be flowing. If that type of devotion comes, higher emotion comes, your mind is lost. How did that mind will take a flower and offer Om Namah Shivaya? You cannot do any mantra. Their mind is gone there. Mind is absorbed in deeper. What is Shiva in that? He is immersed into it. So it is all joy and joy. So for that person, the puja is impossible. But how many people, 1 million, one person may not be like that, no? So till then, but we have to, Katha Upanishad says, Isha Upanishad, Kurban neveho karmani jiji vishet shatagam shamaha. If you live for shatagam shama, 100 years, suppose a human life, as a human, we live 100 years. The Upanishad says, Kurban neveho karmani. You will have to perform all that karma, all the ritualistic karma, which has been given by your guru or the scripture or holy people have ordained. That's good, you have to do. You must have to do that. If you live 100 years. Kurban neveho karmani jiji vishet. If you wish to live Satagam samaha evang tai nannate tosti. There is no other way out. You will have to perform the karma till you get such absorption. So that is supported there. Another question, could you explain the term Saptami as it relates to the upcoming celebration of Durga Puja during Navaratri? Navaratri is 9 days. It starts with the lunar
Navaratri is that new moon,
new moon.
and then following the
So
first night.
First night, so it is called Pratama. Ditya. Ditya is the second day. So after the new moon, the next day is called Pratipad, or first day, Pratipad. Then second day is Ditya. Then third day is Tritiya. Fourth day, Chaturthi. Fifth day, Panchami. Sixth day, Shashti. Seventh day, Saptami. So that seventh day, seventh Saptam means seven. Seventh day after the lunar new moon. New when the Devi Paksha is called mother's appearance period, Devi Paksha. And that is very auspicious period for spiritual seekers, because mother really appears in physical. Physical means those who devotees, they can feel that there is an appearance, and that energy people can feel, and the most auspicious period to do anything good, anything you start.
But mythologically they say like the seventh day, that one actually, because it's a Sagittarius according to the lunar calendar, the moon goes, seventh day moon goes to Sagittarius, and it has the sign of that bow. And then that day the war started with Rama and Ravana, and also Mother Durga and the demon. So, and that is the beginning of the war.
Anyhow, and eighth day, end of the eighth day, beginning of the ninth day, then Mother destroys the demon. That means this period is called destruction of the demon. Destruction of the demon in the outside world, destruction of demon within. My mind has demonic character, and we should pray to Mother so that Mother cuts that, destroys that demon in us. And that's why we call it Sandhi Puja. We do that celebration here by repeating Jai Sri Durga together, 48 minutes. Mother took 48 minutes to destroy the demon. So it is that, but every moment is spiritual if we can do that, but not at least that moment. And we feel that that is the time when Mother really appeared. And that's why after that ceremony, in every place, they put a whole light, and 1,000 lamps will be lit together. So that the darkness is gone, ignorance is gone, and that Divine Mother has appeared, freeing the soul from all bondage. Okay, that is the meaning of the Sandhi Puja, and that is the meaning of the seventh day. That means it is a auspicious period from Mother's appearance side. Okay, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. See you 7:30 in the class Shanti Gita.